Another big one. I'll tell you, if you wanted to pick out one that you show up to see, I think this would be one. Wouldn't you, Chuck?
This is going to be a good match. These boys both like upper body technique. They both are excellent wrestlers. It'll be an interesting match.
126. Bill Kelly of Iowa State out for the first time this year. Back in the lineup. John Thorne has been a little under the weather this week, so Kelly's in there, but Kelly will be later on at 118. Joe Melchiore, who will be at 118 later on, is also in this lineup. And Melchiore is ranked number 5 in the country at 118 pounds, and as we said at the beginning of the program, was the highest ranked recruit in the high schools last year.
Yes, everybody in the country was taking a good look at this young man. Getting a 99-0 record in high school is just extremely difficult.
They wrestle so many matches these days. Kelly against Melchiore. They wrestled in the Midwest Open here in Ames in this very building earlier, and Kelly beat Melchiore in a very close match, and he had to come from behind to do it. Now you see that Melchiore has the single leg, the low single, and Kelly has the whizzer and is out. And now he's behind Melchiore. He has to take it to the mat.
Yes, he has to get him to the mat in order to be able to score his points.
And he did.
That was a nice counter move by Kelly to take away the single, then come back out, go back into the legs and get that.
Melchiore. With Kelly, who is a strong rider and who is a strong pinner, in behind him. Now the classic single leg position, but Kelly still owns the advantage.
Well, it's the responsibility now of Kelly from Iowa State to take the Oklahoma boy down to the mat.
And he's got him on his back, almost.
He almost had that locked in the cradle position. And he puts the legs in right away, which makes it difficult.
And Dan Hill is counting on it, too. He's not going to let him stay in there without progress.
Well, this is a difficult spot for freshmen, Doug, because most of them don't know how to be very effective against the legs. It takes time to learn to be effective against leg wrestlers.
Stalemate. 2-0 Kelly.
You can see almost catches him right here around the leg, but he just doesn't quite get his hands locked. He has the ankle picked. Had he had the hands locked, it would have been right over to his back.
There's Melchiore from New Jersey, Blenheim, New Jersey. Went to Highland Regional School, 99 and zip in high school. But Kelly's been around.
Well, he got that little side lift on him and took him back down to the mat. Now he puts the legs back in. It'll be interesting to see how this is going to be interpreted. He's very effective with these if he has enough time to use them.
The tendency, of course, is not to allow that for very long. Melchiore almost got away immediately on that. Kelly got kind of high.
Well, he does a little sit back in type of thing. That's what Melchiore is doing when he does get to his feet instead of affecting his escape.
And he calls Kelly. The referee, Dan Hill, calls Kelly.
Well, it's difficult now to say that you don't call him when they just got done calling and penalizing Gorey from Oklahoma a couple of times for doing something very similar. They do need more time to work on top. That man on the bottom is making every attempt he can to try to score his escape or reversal. You have the latitude or the right to stay with him.
Kelly went right for the ankle and cut off Melchiore's first move, and then goes up and breaks his man down from the top.
You can anticipate. Both boys wrestle freestyle Greco, but Kelly has several years of college. Melchiore has none.
That is usually the place where an outstanding high school wrestler shows problems when he gets to college, isn't it? On the bottom.
That's right. That bottom position is very
here comes Melchiore out.
Still doesn't have it yet.
Because Kelly reacted, and a beautiful move by Melchiore, and Kelly's still with it.
He still has the leg lock, so he can't score his reversal or his escape.
See him trying to pry the arm out with the other leg. Stalemate.
So it is, yes. The point where they have trouble is on the bottom. They do not learn very effective use of their hands and their back in high school, and they need to do more work on that.
There it is. What a record that was. Joe Melchiore goes into a roll. First thing, Kelly follows right around with it and saves the point at the period. A good period for Kelly. 2-0 is his lead, and he had 2 minutes and 11 seconds of riding time, and Kelly picks down. He gets the choice. We'll get to see Melchiore ride. There's Harold Nichols.
Hit that now.
Kelly had a foot injury, too, over the Christmas break and through this last month or so. Not a break in the foot, but it was a very painful injury.
Got to be on the back of the elbow, son. You're up there chopping. That's just a caution.
That's a caution.
Get on the arm right. Here we go.
What he's saying there is your hand has to be behind the elbow, not out in front. I thought he might call Goree from Oklahoma on that same thing, but that's something for the fans to look at.
On top, please.
A caution. Referee Dan Hill.
Now Curry's now is a good hip tilter. He likes to tip the hilt, and then he also likes to put the legs on. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get what he wants out of this.
Goes with a cross face up high. You can tell he likes to dominate people up there on top.
He's dominated a lot of people in his life, and it's difficult for some of these young guys to understand what position they should go to. When you're wrestling somebody that just doesn't go over automatically.
Kelly is in a very good position here, it seems to me.
Just has to free his head. Doesn't want to roll to his back, though. Just pull his head out of there. He can get elevation with his upper
watch
body.
the knee, watch the knee. I think Dan Hill's got his eye on it. Potentially dangerous.
We go again.
Boy, I guess.
He's still down, son.
That's a tough spot for Joe Melchiore to be in.
Okay, bleeding in the nose. Go plug it up.
Bloody nose. Bill Kelly goes over to have it cleaned up. Well, we're in the 126-pound match, Chuck Patton, and the Oklahoma Sooners won the first one, and a close one, 14-12. And here it's 2-0 in favor of Kelly. What have you seen so far that tells you how this match is going to come out?
I thought it might be a little more wide open with some throws. And what's happening is that they're spending more time down on the mat because, as I indicated and I believe, Kelly has those several years of college experience and knows more about putting his man down, keeping him down, and putting pressure on him down there. Melchiore knows a little less about how he should get out of there and how he can be effective at scoring his escapes and reversals.
And he wants to be on his feet. And the problem Melchiore's had is that Kelly got the first takedown and then was able to play it his way right till now. Riding time, 2:11 for Kelly. Melchiore has coming up close to a minute's worth.
Well, he's been very effective on top so far. He stopped him on the whistle, and then he's put pressure on him. Now, he feels comfortable. You know, he's just got that air of confidence that you can see in an athlete that's been very successful.
Stalemate. He brings the legs in from both sides, too. He went from that's the first time I think he's coming around to the left.
Well, he'll let him do this another time, and then instead of being stalemate, it will be a caution for stalling. So, going to have to make some kind of change. And he'll try to slide right off of this and go into a hip tilt to a forced pry on the head. Has the legs in, and he'll come up and pry that half on the other side. He's got it in on the other side now. Once the head goes down, it becomes tough, so Kelly was wise to keep that head out of it. And that's time to warn him for stalling.
Warning against Melchiore at the top.
And Coach Abel is saying to his boy, don't do it. If you do it again, you're going to get penalized.
28 seconds with a 2-0 lead.
In other words, don't put the legs on, because that's getting you called for stalling. And here they are again. So he's got to be more effective with them now or get them out of it. And that's how men score. If you're trying to get them out or try to get them in, that's when they usually will score. Now Kelly's to his feet, and he should be able to get in good position here. He's got that locked up. This is a throwing position for a freestyle Greco man.
But the period is going to end. And there it is, the end of the period. It was a 2-minute ride for Melchiore, and he managed to take away the riding time advantage. Kelly had 2:11 in the first period. Melchiore had 2 in the second. And now the question is, can Kelly ride?
Well, he's done a very effective job so far. It'd be interesting to see what Melchiore does.
2-0.
He has to get to his feet like this, Doug. And now he's got to learn to get his back into him. So he's not getting his back into him, not dropping his hips down and taking his hips out away. So it makes it more difficult. And he almost put himself on his back right there.
He did put himself on his back. potentially dangerous again. Kelly almost had a reversal that time, and the crowd is unhappy because they thought Kelly should have been allowed to continue and get back points.
What they thought was that he had back points when Melchiore put himself underneath. And then Melchiore was starting to come out the back door, and the legs were twisted around, so he thought that was going to be dangerous to the knees.
Well, what happened is nothing.
Nothing, that's right.
On the scoreboard. Now Melchiore's in a great position, and he's out. And he's behind, and now he's ahead, 3-2.
That was a real quick escape, and cut his arm through and came right back in on the takedown attempt.
And Kelly is complaining of an ankle injury.
This might be, that's the one that's taped up, and this might be the one that he had injured all during the month of January. Now he made a real quick sweep to get his 1 point, and then he just stepped in with his leg to block. Immediately freed his feet, came spinning around the other side.
Well, as soon as Kelly fixed his position on the mat, he was the fulcrum, and Melchiore just swung around him. So we have 1 minute and 23 seconds to go in the third period. It's Oklahoma against Iowa State. Kelly led 2-0 until just a moment ago. There's Stan Abel.
Now this is important right now when his coach can talk to his athlete. The injured athlete can't be administered to for the injury, but cannot be coached. Right now, I'm sure that Coach Abel from Oklahoma is trying to explain to his man, you've been warned on the top because you put the legs in, so don't put the legs back in, because that's what he got you for. So you're going to have to be very intelligent about what you do in that top position.
There's Darrell Peterson. Will have an off-the-mat intermission feature with Darrell after the 150-pound match. Darrell Peterson, ranked 8th in the country, will be wrestling Mark Tatum as the last match, and he's hoping that by the time he gets there, he can maybe win the meet for Iowa State. But first, they're going to have to pick up some lower weight victories, and this is one that the Cyclones need very badly. They lost at 118. Melchiore just came from behind, took the lead 3-2.
Now he's got to take him down. He has to work to take his opponent to the mat. That's the critical factors. He can't stay back there and not work to improve his position.
We're down about 1 minute left. 3-2 is the score.
He's good with the hip tilt, but he needs his leg on the bottom side. Kelly's wise right here, got his arm free. If he keeps the arm free, he's okay, and he can come out across him. He's in very good spot here as long as he takes his time. Keeps his hips low.
He can't get any back points, however, because he doesn't have the advantage.
No, he's got to get his arm across the head, Doug. Right now he needs to get his arm back across Melchiore's head. That will give the referee the opportunity to...
Now it's called. Now it's called, and back points. A 4-point swing for Kelly. It's now 6-3. It's now 6-3 for Kelly with 20 seconds to go.
Well, he's got him stopped. And the Granby's the only thing that the young man's done right here. Now he's trying to sit in behind him to take one of those Granby type positions.
Didn't work that time. Now we're down to 5. It looks like Kelly. It's a big one for Iowa State.
It's that seasoning and experience, Doug, I believe. Very good match by Bill Kelly.
Well, that's the second time those men have met, and Kelly is the winner for the second time. A big one for the Cyclones. Kelly wins 6-3, and now it's 3-3 in the team score. We go to 134 pounds. And this is Joe Gezzi of Iowa State. Now we're looking at that reversal and near fall position. As soon as the reversal was called, he was already in the near fall position.
That's right. He was just waiting for the referee, and all he had to do was come back.